Thanks, Lauren. I'm smiling. I'm very nervous, but in general, I'm nervous, so I think it's okay. Right. There it is. So today, I want to talk about processing for Android, some news about this project. Most of what I show today is online. And yes, what is processing for Android? Essentially, it's a mode that you can use in the processing environment to write sketches that then you can run on Android devices, phones, tablets, now watches. There is also an underlying library that is essentially our implementation of all the API in processing, but for Android, plus some of the new functions that are specific to mobile development, like multi-touch. But more importantly, it's a project to facilitate mobile development on Android and to help people to try out new ideas. I think this is kind of the main goal of this project. So it's actually not new. It's not processing for Android has been started like 7 years ago. And actually, the motivation came from Andy Rubin contacting Ben, asking, well, can we use processing to create apps for Android? And the answer was yes. So Ben and Jonathan Feinberg, they kind of implemented the first version of the mode. I contributed with the 3D rendering that eventually became part of the Java mode, and we just from that starting point we kept working on it. Very important to the development of the project in subsequent years was the Summer of Code, the Google Summer of Code program. We had very talented students in 2014, 15. I think we skipped 16, but we had some additional support from Google Creative Lab New York that helped us to kind of have a renovated push in the development and start adding new functionality like virtual reality support for VR and other things. And this takes us to the present. We had 2 students working, doing really great work this year. I'll show the projects in a little bit. And we just released this new version of the mode with all these new features that I'll show in a moment. Just to give you a kind of, to reiterate, to kind of emphasize this idea that we want to make Android development very simple, very easy. I cannot do a live demo, but here, this is how the Android mode looks like, very similar to the Java mode, the default mode in the PDE, and you just write code like that, then you select the device, and there you go. You just run it, and hopefully you have it running like that. You can do more complex things. This is a very simple one. So what are the updates? Well, this is what was part of the Android. These 2 things you see there are what was available in the Android mode since the beginning. You can create regular apps with support from sensors and other features in Android. You can export your sketches as apps you can upload to the Google Play Store. And now what we have is support live wallpapers, watch faces, virtual reality. And also we kind of did a number of improvements in how the mode works, supporting this new build system called Gradle. And all of this is new. Live wallpapers being this kind of special apps that run in the background. Now you can create this with the mode. Then running your sketches on watches. How cool is that? So also, I think I was speaking too far from the phone all the time, right? Maybe it's okay. So yes, if you don't have a watch, you can still, there is support for the emulator, so you can try things out on software. What else? Well, virtual reality. Sometimes I have this conflicting feeling. Is this really that great to have virtual reality and people having these headsets? It's great. It's funny to see all these images. But we try to make it very easy. So you just have your 3D sketch with a 3D renderer. And you basically, all you need to do is to kind of switch it to the VR render, and then you go. It handles automatically the head tracking and everything. This is an example, a project that Sara Di Bartolomeo did for Summer of Code this year. And it's actually real-time audio visualization using FFT to detect the audio features and creating updating the landscape as you move through the song. And there is the GitHub repo if you want to get all the details of how it is done. Then Rupak Das, he worked really hard on all this low-level stuff, like the Gradle build that is running there. It's very important to kind of update to the latest version of Android. So we have that. We had also a new SDK downloader that we had to implement in the mode. And he wrote all this work on his blog, so you can check that out there. And now a little bit of shameless self-promotion. I have 1 minute to do that. So we have a book coming out soon, so you can get the link from there. And this book tries to go over the basics, starting from the basics of drawing and interaction, with emphasis on mobile development for Android, to, for example, how to support multiple screen sizes and resolutions. Then to more advanced projects where you can combine geolocation with Android APIs and, for example, Google Street View. Then using body sensors on watches. And then 3D, and then that leading into using 3D in VR with all the specific things that you have to take care of, you have to consider in terms of how to interact in 3D, how to move in virtual reality. And yes, how to integrate then your processing sketch into Android Studio if you want to create, say, a processing view and embed that into a larger app, for example. So yes, all of that is covered in this book. This new book is sorry, I don't have a hard copy version. It should be coming out really, really soon, in the next couple of weeks. So yes, what's next? The next steps, I think there are many features that are really interesting to include, like AR, also performance improvements. If you're interested to see what is possible or what is kind of in the list of things to do, there is a wiki with projects with some, that perhaps could be, some of those could be done for Summer of Code next year. Also, I think it's very important to think of the multi-language support, like the text in the mode and the website and other resources, since Android is used worldwide. And then, yes, it continues to be kind of the next, or the ongoing things to facilitate new uses of mobile devices and perhaps let people think of how they can own their devices and data through code. So yes, I think that's what is next. And thank you all. Thanks to this wonderful community. Thank you.